Okay, so trying something a bit different with today's video. I'm gonna try to go over these books, and some of them will be more successful with it than others. But try and go in 2 sentences or less. So like really quick reviews. Make this whole video, but going for 25 books should probably take me like 25 minutes at the most to go over. You don't not even a minute per book. And actually, it's more than 25 because the movies and the original graphic novels, and then I have 4 books that I took out myself. I want to get to 25. Now, no review on Doomsday Clock, and for why that reason for why that is because I thought I would be finishing them all. I thought I'd be going to the library on like yesterday. No, they're very slow this week. There already was books on Tuesday that came in yesterday, a day late. No, yeah, almost a day late. And then the books for Wednesday, I'm still waiting on. I don't even know if I can go today. I can't go tomorrow probably unless my grandmother can take me, but she probably can't because everyone's gonna be gone. Like I'm so sick of it. I know it's not their fault. I know it's not their fault. If anything, they would have the books come in like Tuesday, and I go in right on Tuesday, like right in the morning on Tuesday, they'd be all in. But it's like, come on, like in one book, I'm waiting on one book. I hate when that happens. Again, I'm not blaming them. I'm blaming like the system, if anything, or the event that happened to delay them, whatever, and the people themselves, obviously. All right, without further ado, let's just get into it. First one up is Krampus, and if this is what the best we get for a new modern Christmas horror movie, then we might as well just give up, and just go back to Gremlins and Die Hard. It's not a horror movie, obviously, but might as well go back to Gremlins and Gremlins 2 and some other classic Christmas movies from way back when, because this one was pretty bad. I didn't think it was like terrible, but I was and when a movie is an hour and a half and you feel like it could have been shorter, that's kind of bad. Like take out all the stupid scenes, replace them with the scenes that actually did. The deleted scenes make this movie a little bit better. But if you took out like some of the scenes that weren't necessary and then replaced them with the scenes that were, I would look a lot better. A little bit better. Even then, like I was only slightly. I would give like a movie a 5 out of 10 without the deleted scenes, and then 5.5 with deleted scenes put in. Nope. It's somewhat disappointing movie, but because I had known it was the best movie, I actually did kind of like this one. Very, very slow in the first act, and then some of the second act. But after that, it does get pretty good and interesting. But a pretty disappointing, like I want to say ending, but explanation. I would say, it's kind of one of those things where Jordan Peele always has this like super deep explanation. But I would rather take this kind of explanation rather than the racism explanation he gave for Get Out, which I did like, but in Us too, I think was also kind of sort of the same thing. I liked Us. I would say that's probably his worst movie though, but that's because I really liked Get Out and Us. I actually did like Us, despite its exposition dump of an ending, or explanation rather. I love Trouble. Not that bad. I did not think it was all that bad, but I'm not gonna clamor out to watch it again. It was I actually did get wrapped up in the mystery, and kind of like with Nope, it was kind of disappointing with its ending, with its like I don't know its explanation of how all like what was behind all of it, and that kind of thing. But it wasn't that bad. Like I would not watch it again. I don't really recommend it, but if you like a standard rom com that has a little bit more to it, then I would say, I guess, check that out. I mean, if you get it for free, then fine, but then go for it. But I wouldn't even pay $3 for a rental for this movie. Now into the books. Now this one you didn't see before. I think, yeah, I don't think I did because I replaced it with some. Because I didn't end up finishing Ms. Marvel. Actually, I'll do Ms. Marvel first. So I was gonna finish Ms. Marvel Volume 1 because I have it digitally. So you're not gonna see the book, obviously. I was gonna finish it digitally by time I went to the library, but I didn't. And I thought I thought it was 6 issues in Volume 1. It was 5 issues plus material from from her first appearance. All new, all different. Point one, whatever the hell it was called. And I could have finished it and then been reading Ms. Marvel way back when I was way back when I was reading other books this past week. But I didn't. But Mr. Marvel Volume 1 is the closest that we've gotten to an indie book from Marvel since The Runaways. This is just, it's a good book. I understand the hate behind it. No, not the immense hate, obviously. But I understand why people are very critical of Kamala Khan as a character. But the way that they write, especially the early issues of Ms. Marvel, the way they write it is a very down to earth, very like simple indie comic, but it's from Marvel, and I appreciate that, and that's enough for me to like this book, and it's a recommend, and that's pretty much all I have to say about that, I guess. The problem with these 2 sentences or less is that it has to be very tight. And I don't mind that because some books I'm on like volume 5, so obviously I'm gonna be like, yeah, it's just as good as volumes 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm not gonna say too much about them, but something like Ms. Marvel, I have a lot more to say about it. So maybe I should do is I should do like, I don't know. Because that was super stutter. I don't want to make these videos any longer than 16 minutes. I think the way I'm doing it now would be a great way to do that. But yeah, Ms. Marvel is recommend. At least check out the first volume. If you don't like the first volume, then fine. But I do still recommend people check it out and not have like a just go by what other people are saying, but and how much they hate it. Just check it out, I would say. Unless those people that hate the book, you have never disagreed on the book with them at all. You've never disagreed with them on a book ever. At all. I can't say words apparently. Kingsman. Now back to Kingsman. Better than the movie. Way better than the movie. It has so much in here that's different from the movie. At least from what I remember. It's been a while since I've seen the movie. But they should have if they made this into the movie, I think a lot more people would like it. Not the change, and the changes they made, I think, hurt the movie. But I still liked the movie enough. But I really wish we got this as the movie, and it proves that Mark Millar is a very underrated writer. A lot of people hate this guy. Overhated writer. A lot of people hate this guy for no reason. And it's a good Mark Millar book. This honestly is the best book, along with Kick-Ass, to be someone's first Mark Millar book. If they're the age of this, of course. It's mature rated. I mean, you shouldn't be watching this video if you're, next one up is Daredevil Yellow. Just as good as I remember it being. This is the perfect book for any new Daredevil fan. It's all in one. You don't have to know too much about the character to know this is basically a Daredevil Year 1. Not really. It's kind of a Daredevil Year 1, but this is like one of the most perfect, especially when you're going by modern standards, the perfect place to start on Daredevil. Because it's basically an origin story. It's a retelling of his origin and then the death of Karen Page. So maybe you need to know what happened with Karen Page. Like you're like, oh, who's this person? But even then, I would say this is a perfect book to read for new Daredevil fans. And it's also a damn good book too. Next up is Ultimate Comics X-Men, a bargain bin book. I got this the bargain bin that is kind of understandable why it was in the bargain bin. I still liked it. I'm on volume 2 right now, but don't expect anything special with this book. If you can get this book for like $5, I would say, it's especially a hardcover, I would say pick it up. But anything more than $5, I mean $6 fine, but anything more than $5, I would say wait till it goes down in price, or get it on sale when it's on sale on the Kindle. Next up is Ultimate Avengers Volume 3, a perfect trilogy that is extremely underrated. If you liked Mark Millar's Ultimates, this is a perfect follow-up. I mean, I read this first before I reread Ultimates. I wasn't too terribly confused. I had some questions, but I would say that you could probably start on Ultimate Avengers. But a very good book, and it's proof that sequels can be not just as good, because I think Ultimates is better, but it can be like still good enough on its own. Lore Olympus Volume 3. I cannot wait for Volume 4 to come out. This is spectacular. I mean, it's crazy to think that this is a young adult book, because it's honestly better than a lot of regular comics, like, a lot of like Marvel and DC books and some Image. It's honestly like this deserves all the hype it's gotten and all the great praise it's gotten. Ratcatcher. Just as good as I remember it being. and this is a perfect crime book. And it'll take like an hour to read it, so I recommend picking this one up. Even if you do have to pay full price for it, I would recommend reading this one. It's $20 though. I don't know, maybe even then. It's $20 for a small book like this. Oh, it's hardcover, but I do highly recommend that book. If you like crime comics, then you like that, and crime novels, I can say. But if you like crime books, then you'll like that one. Genre. That was what I was looking for. Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 500 of Bendis. This is Volume 3 of the relaunch. So I think we're at Volume 8 right now. I don't know. In all, this is a pretty underrated Guardians of the Galaxy run. It's not anything special. It's not as good as what came before, but it's if you like the movies, this is the best. This is the closest to the Guardians that you will get to the movies so far. I mean, I haven't read anything from Donny Cates one, but this is the best. This is the best place to start too, because Donny Cates is afterwards, and Donny Cates, I've heard, is really complicated too. Fantastic Four Full Circle. While I feel like this is a bit overhyped, I can understand why people like this book so much. I wish we had gotten a Alex Ross more painted Alex Ross artwork, which I'm flipping through it and I can't find what I was looking for before. But I do like the Jack Kirby isms, and this is the perfect celebration of the Fantastic Four's 60+ years in comics. This is what you do. This is how you make a Fantastic Four anniversary collection. This is how you do that. I would not mind if that was 100 pages, honestly. Like how DC does it. There are 100-page spectaculars. I would not mind if that's what we got for Fantastic Four. Sonic the Hedgehog Volume 6, The Last Minute. A pretty good Sonic comic. It's better than it has any right to be. Come on, wake up. Wake up. Dog is a nightmare. Of course, I'm patting her, hey, wake up. And she's not up here. There we go. Alright. Next up is Cable and Deadpool Volume 5. I'm starting to understand why people like this series so much. See, it was quick. It was easy. You still know I like the book. Skills and Scoundrels Volume 2. A perfect introduction for kids. A perfect introduction to fantasy for kids. I would say get these 2 volumes for your kids for their birthday. Even if they're not into comics, I'd say this is a perfect way to them to get into comics and to get into something that's not like Spider-Man, where they have to go way back to the day and it's just confusing. So if they like fantasy, pick this up for them. That's all I have to say. What I was trying to say is, like, Spider-Man, like, you have to, like, there's no real, it's really complicated to get into, like, a reading order, because there's so much, like, you know what I mean. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm over-explaining. You guys know what I'm talking about. You guys know that, most of you guys know that Spider-Man has been, all of you guys know that Spider-Man's been along for, you know what I mean. I'm over-explaining. Alright, demo. This is how you do an anthology comic. I liked almost every story in here besides the last one, which was just a poem, and it said lyrics of, I guess, a song, whatever. But other than that, it's just a perfect anthology series. And I think it was only 12 issues. Apparently it's 18, but I looked it up the other day, and it said 18. Yesterday it said 12-issue miniseries. I don't know if they just collected material from it, which I hope it didn't, but I don't know. These Savage Shores. I'm slowly starting to get why people like Ron V's writing so much. Maybe I should reread Layla Starr, but this was adequate enough. Very, very confusing and very involved, and had too many characters, had too much going on for only 5 issues. But I still would recommend this book. Krampus. Even though I didn't like this comic, I think this is a better Krampus movie than we actually got back in 2015. This is what they should have done. They should have done a little bit from the movie that we got and a little bit from this comic. I like the movie a lot better. But as I cannot recommend this book. It's probably the worst of what I've read thus far. Oh, it was the worst and the best. Oh, so now we're in the worst, actually. Hey, but oh no, we're not. Okay, so you know what? All right, so this is still good. Justice League versus Suicide Squad, a perfect crossover, and that in a perfect like not a perfect superhero comic, but like a what you know what would you expect from this book? You know, it's a nice. They did it enough with this that I can't see how people will be disappointed by this book. So now we're on to the bad, and then this is because I liked that one, but now we're down to the bad for the last two. Like I said, Krampus. They should take what we got from the movie, what we got from the comic, and I like the movie a lot better. And then the Batgirl, absolutely awful. This is how you screw up a character. If this is what we got from Gail Simone's run, I would understand people hated Gail Simone's run. But Gail Simone's run for me is like a perfect Batgirl run. And this is perfect. It's a perfect example of how to do a relaunch of Batgirl. This is how to screw everything up that was introduced before. This is awful. I have nothing good to say about this comic. The artwork is terrible. The tone is completely different than what we got from Gail Simone. So it's issue 35. So you had to know what came beforehand, because they'll be pretty confused. So any kid that reads Gail Simone's run, it's going to a little inappropriate for them, like a little too dark for them. They read this is the DC superhero girls of Batgirl comics. And well, in Batgirl was your actual like for teens and up Batgirl run. This is DC superhero girls. This is awful. I do not recommend it at all. And the only reason why I was rereading that run is that I always hated that run, was to get to the Rebirth run and see if they had more than Volume 3. They don't, so I'm not reading this anymore. Oh, it's more. Sorry, it's more. This is so unorganized. Alright, so now we're on to the good again. I thought we were done. I don't know why I thought we were done. I should know we weren't done. Alright, so I'll do Justice League again. Like I said before, a good crossover. It's like just like do a crossover. You know, utilize all the best attributes of both teams. I know this is so unorganized, but you know what? I don't have to do the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I'm doing a quick review of them. So I'm at 17 minutes already, but you know. All right, so I'm not unorganized. And you see guys in the comments are gonna like say, well, you should have done this. And yeah, I should have done it, but yay. Watch the video. I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I know you guys like have other things to do. I know some of you guys don't have 20 minutes to spare to watch my videos, but some of you guys have to have like at least like I would like recurring viewers, you know, to have at least like at least 2 people, 1 to 2 people who would watch every video, not to watch the whole thing, but would say, "Oh yeah, Bitterroot, I want to see that. I want to read that book. So nice. It's nice that you liked it. So I'll check it out." I'll wait till they get the compendium, the hardcover, you know? And I understand, like, some of you guys don't have time to watch every single video. Just like I don't have time to watch every single one of my viewers' video, my subscribers' videos. I get it. Like some of my videos are an hour long. You guys do not have an hour to spare. Even I wouldn't. But still, it's like I'm not. It's like with the library. I don't blame you guys for it. Just as like I don't blame the library for not getting the book not getting that one book I'm waiting on, which I wonder if it's in right now. I don't blame you guys, obviously. I like that I at least have 155 subscribers, and I was able to get 100 subscribers before my cousin was, and that I have an Instagram community I hang out with and watch and look at their posts, you know, all that kind of stuff. I like this community. It's just like I'm kind of annoyed that I'm doing a lot of this. That's the thing. I could edit my videos. I could make a script. I could do this. I could do that. But would it be worth it? Would I get more viewers? Would I get more subscribers, more comments, more likes, more everything? I don't know about that. That's why I need to know it would work out in the long run. But anyways, let's get back into it. Bitterroot. A pretty good comic. I really like this comic. This is how you do social commentary, honestly. The Multiversity. A very complicated but very good DC event. Frontline Civil War. This is how you do a tie-in that actually does add a bit to the overall... Actually adds a lot to the overall Civil War comics. I highly recommend this book for anyone that likes the original Civil War book, but the Mark Millar one, obviously, not the Bendis one, because that's Civil War too. Klaus, I highly recommend this book. This is a Christmas classic. I would honestly say this is good for kids. It's like PG. I would say it's PG-13. It's a little bit violent here and there, and a bit dark, but I think a kid could read this just fine. Like it's PG-13 kind of violence, but it's not too bad. It does say adult, but I'd say young adult. This is what I think of when I think of a Christmas classic for comics, at least. Not even comics, just a whole medium in general. Highly recommend. Grant Morrison's best work, honestly, since I mean, it sounds like absolute best work, but like his most concise work. Like I can read this; it's not too complicated. Sandman by Neil Gaiman, Volume 5. Again, like with Cable and Deadpool, finally starting to get why people like this comic so much. DMZ, Volume whatever, because it doesn't tell you. It's War Powers, right? Yeah, War Powers. Playing a part. Wasn't my fault. Now it's getting good. And of course, it's getting good just when they don't have the next volume, or they may not have the next few volumes of this series. I liked, this is getting close to what I liked about the first few volumes of DMZ. Because we got kind of into a rough patch here and there. I felt like it was just like now I can see why there's a point to it being 72 issues. But before I couldn't. Before I was like, okay, you end it here and I'd be fine with it. But now I would say, no. I would take that back. Batman Rules of Engagement. A pretty decent Batman run. If you can find this at a discount or for free at your local library, I would say check it out. Especially if you like Andy Diggle. You've always wanted to see him tackle Batman. Wonder Woman Volume 3. A damn good Wonder Woman run that continues to be a damn good Wonder Woman run. Darth Vader Volume 4, the final volume. I really like this run. A damn good run, and the closest I've gotten to really liking, not the closest I've gotten, but it's just a damn good run. Like, if you like Star Wars, pick this up. Star Wars by Jason Aaron, the same here. If you like Star Wars, you'll like this book. Magneto by Cullen Bunn, Volume 2. A super underrated run. Check this out. This is how you do modern X-Men, and also a deconstruction of a character, of superheroes, or supervillains in this case. And finally, Spider-Man Season 1. Not bad, but pretty derivative. It's Cullen Bunn, but I wish we got more horror. I was a bit disappointed we didn't get anything. I knew this was going to be pretty standard going into it, because I looked up the reviews. But imagine how much better this would have been if we had gotten like a horror version of Spider-Man. Like we got he fights Jack-O-Lantern, or like a horror villain he's fought before. And you really delve into the horror of Spider-Man's character. Spider-Man is a character from Cullen Bunn, the king of horror comics. But that, as I say, is that. That actually is the end. 23 minutes, not bad. The end. I mean, come on, I'm into 30 books?